Thank you, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tado Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavada Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtigim. So we'll be reading from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 10, verse number 6. Maharshaya Sapta Purve Chatvaro Manavastada Madbhava Manasa Jada Yesham Loka Ima Prajaha Maharshaya Sapta Purve Chatvaro Manavastada Madbhava Manasa Jada Yesham Loka Ima Praja Maharshaya Sapta Purve Chatvaro Manavastada Madbhava Manasa Jada Yesham Loka Ima Prajaha. The devotees, please recite the verses. Prabhujis, Madajis. Go ahead.
Maharshaya sapta purve chatvaro manavastata madda vamanasa jata esham loka imam praja.
Yeah. Anybody else? Okay. So we'll go word by word meaning. Maharshayaha, the great sages. Please repeat.
Maharishya, the great sages.
Sapta, 7.
Sapta, 7.
Purve, before.
Purve, before.
Before.
Tatvaraha, 4.
Chatvaraha.
4.
Manavaha, Manus.
Manavaha. Manus.
Tadha, also.
Tatha also.
Madbhavaha, born of me.
Madbhavaha.
Born of me.
Born of me.
Manasaha, from the mind.
Manasaha, from the mind.
Jadaha, born.
Jataha, born.
Yesha, of them.
Esha, of them.
Loke, in the world.
Loke, in the world.
Ima, all this.
Ima, all this.
Praja, population.
Praja,
population.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, S.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. The 7 great sages.
The 7 great sages.
And before them the 4 other great sages.
And before them the 4 other great sages.
And the Manus.
And the Manu.
Progenitors of mankind.
Progenitors of mankind.
Come from me.
Come from me.
Born from my mind.
Born from my mind.
And all the living beings.
And all the living beings.
Populating the various planets.
Populating the various planets.
Descend from them.
Descend from them.
The Lord is giving a genealogical synopsis of the universal population. Brahma is the original creature born out of the energy of the Supreme Lord, who is known as Hiranyagarbha. And from Brahma, all the 7 great sages, and before them 4 other great sages named Sanaka, Sananda, Sanatana, and Sanat Kumara. And the 14 Manus are manifested. All these 25 great sages are known as the patriarchs of the living entities all over the universe. There are innumerable universes and innumerable planets within each universe. and each planet is full of population of different varieties. All of them are born of these 25 patriarchs. Brahma underwent penance for 1000 years of the demigods before he realized by the grace of Krishna how to create. Then from Brahma came Sanaka, Sananda, Sanatana, and Sanat Kumara, then Rudra, and then the seven sages, and in this way, all the Brahmanas and Kshatriyas are born out of the energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Brahma is known as Pidamaha, the grandfather, and Krishna is also known as Prapidamaha, the father of the grandfather. That is stated in the 11th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, 11:39 verse. Om Ajnanatimidandasya Jnananjana Salagaya Chakshurunmilidam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stabidam Yena Bhudale Swayam Rupakada Mahyam Dadadi Sapadandigam Vandeham Sri Gurum Sri Udabadagamalam Sri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajadam Sahagana Raghunadhanidam Tam Sajivam Sadvaidam Savadudam Parijana Sahidam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalidam Sri Vishakhanidamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpade Gopesha Gopika Kanda Radha Kanda Namostude Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sude Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarupasya Kripa Sindubhya Evacha Padidanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktum Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinamadidamastu Ma Vidushavahai Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, thank you so much for joining today this systematic study of Bhagavad Gita. As many scriptures and the verdict of mentioned, and even Bhagavad Gita is considered as the essence of all the Upanishads. Sarvopanishado Gavo. Bhagavad Gita is Sarvopanishado Gavo. This is the essence of all the Upanishads. Upanishads are the branches of Vedas. Or we can say that Veda has Vedanta Sutra, or the cream of Veda is known as Vedanta Sutra. From the Vedanta Sutras, then Upanishads, 108 Upanishads, and all the essence of Upanishads, or we can say that Vedanta Sutra or Veda is comprised in the Bhagavad Gita. So this one book, Srila Prabhupada mentioned that, dear devotees, one understand clearly, one understand thoroughly the essence of Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavad Gita, then he is able to liberate from this world. And this Bhagavad Gita is known as basis or the foundational knowledge of spirituality or foundational knowledge of the transcendental science. So this reveals the science, dear devotees. So that's where we are going through. So it is mentioned that in the scripture, if one who understands the Bhagavad Gita, then he understands the absolute knowledge. So one who understands the absolute knowledge or the transcendental knowledge, then there is no confusion that which creates whether it is a material or not, spiritual. So we are all living into this material world, and we are so confused with so many information, so many knowledge, and we don't know what is what and what is true. And that's what is since the history says to us. People are going in various directions. This God, this God, this God, this God. The reason for that people are going because of they don't have the proper understanding of the transcendental science or the spiritual science. This is a science. This is not just only the information. This is science, that means which is proven, which is realized. This transcendental knowledge which is realized by the great seers or great sages, self-realized souls, like that. So we came to this section of Bhakti Yogas that started from the 7th chapter, the knowledge of the Absolute. That's what it is, the 7th chapter, 8th chapter, attaining the Supreme, and the 9th chapter, the most confidential knowledge, and then 10th chapter, which comes, and this is titled as the opulences of the Absolute, but Krishna is revealing that this is more confidential than what Krishna has revealed so far. See, the Krishna is saying in the first chapter, the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, listen again. Krishna is telling to Arjuna, listen again. So Krishna is repeating the same confidential knowledge. O mighty armed Arjuna, because you are my dear friend. So this is the very important factor, dear devotees, that suppose, we have friends. I mean, we all can say that there are, so many Facebook friends. Would you put all the confidential matters in your life, put it into the Facebook? No, you won't. You will not do that. Or if you have so many friends, you won't go and tell all your confidential matters, between, what is in your life. You won't tell to that, only with your dear friend, very intimate friend or very close friends, that you reveal that such kinds of information and the confidential, things. So exactly like that, Krishna is revealing this confidential knowledge to his dear friend Arjuna, because of Arjuna is very dear to Krishna. Why? Arjuna is never envious of Krishna, and Arjuna is always a devotee of Krishna. Because of Arjuna, it's Bhaktom Semi Sakha Chedi. Sakha, Krishna was a very dear friend of Krishna, and never envious of Krishna. So then think about this one. We are hearing the same knowledge that Supreme Lord revealed to Arjuna, and we are here to hear that the same knowledge. So what does that mean? That means that we are also dear to Krishna. That's why we are able to understand this transcendental knowledge. Or one who is able to understand this confidential knowledge means which is coming from Krishna, and such devotees are very dear to Krishna. And that's what it is showing here. So Krishna is telling, I will speak you further, giving knowledge that is better than what I have already explained. See? So this is most confidential knowledge. So we should be very attentively hear this transcendental knowledge. So Krishna is further revealing, neither the host of demigods nor the great sages know my origin or opulence, for in every respect I am the source of the demigods and the sages. See, this is very difficult to understand. Even the sages and great sages, even, neither of the hosts of demigods nor greats know my origin or opulences. See, we are revealing this chapter, the entering into the most confidential knowledge of the Supreme Lord's opulences. That's why this chapter is titled as Opulences of the Absolute. Absolute means the supreme, complete. There is nothing to subtract, nothing to add. This is complete or Purna. So, understanding this Krishna's opulences, we will completely understand Krishna. And that's what is here. And Krishna is revealing this to Arjuna, and we are so fortunate. And Krishna is telling that even great sages does not know me, my origin or opulences completely. And Krishna is further saying that the result of that one who knows Krishna, he who knows me as the unborn, Ajam, unborn, as the beginningless. And Krishna is beginningless. I mean, Krishna is always exist. Krishna is the supreme. As the supreme Lord of all worlds, he only undiluted among men is freed from all sins. So Krishna is known as Mukunda, one who only can give the liberation. That's why Krishna's name is Krishna. Vishnu is also name, and gives the name, and has the name of Mukunda. And because of he is the only one who can give the liberation. And then freed one who is freed from all the sins means he can get liberated. So one who knows me as unborn, So how many of us know that sometimes we come to this understanding that, oh, Krishna born in in Mathura. Krishna never born. Krishna manifested. Krishna was manifested into the heart of Mother Devaki, and first of all in the heart of Vasudev, and then came to the Mother Devaki, and then appeared in the womb. And then as soon as Krishna, the it's all actually it was all is like happening in such a way that I mean in the Yoga Maya. So Yoga Maya actually completely deluded the Mother Devaki and Vasudev, and then as if that they are giving birth, or Mother Devaki is giving birth. But actually, it's all happened in such a way that Devaki thought that I'm giving a birth, but Krishna is actually appeared in front of Vasudev and Devaki. And how did Krishna appear in front of Vasudeva and Devaki? In the four-handed Vishnu form first. And they saw the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. But because of the Yoga Maya's influence and Krishna, then Vishnu, Vishnu transformed to the two-handed baby form of Krishna. And then they all came to their original consciousness. My baby, my this is my son, this is my baby, and that understanding they came. So like Mother Yashoda, as soon as Mother Yashoda saw Krishna, in her Krishna's mouth, like Krishna opened the mouth, Mother Yashoda requested Krishna to open the mouth, and Mother Yashoda saw the entire universe, everything is in the mouth of. But Mother Yashoda thought that what am I going on? What is going on? This is Yoga Maya is influencing. Similarly, Mother Yashoda and Vasudev. And also at the same time, that Krishna is revealed to Vasudev that take me to the Gokul. So this is all Yoga Maya's arrangement. And so like that. So Krishna is unborn. Basically, Krishna is unborn. He never takes birth. But Krishna manifests. Krishna appears. This, I think, okay. If, can you please put on mute, say Krishna? I don't know who is speaking. Yeah. Yeah. I have to put mute. Okay. Thank you. Hare Krishna. So, Krishna is unborn. Ajam Vibhum. He is unborn. So, one who knows that Krishna is the supreme and beginningless, original, and he is able to free from the sins. Why Krishna is saying that? Because of only by this knowledge of Krishna, only by the supreme knowledge, all the opulences and Krishna, how Krishna is manifesting, how Krishna is. So then only we can understand that. Otherwise, if I just tell that, Krishna is a supreme Lord, and then the next question is asking that how Krishna is God. So here in this chapter, Krishna is revealing that how Krishna is the Supreme Lord and how we know him as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then Krishna is further saying that, this is the opulence. Remember that. This is the opulence. And at the end of this chapter, Krishna is saying that all these opulences are just the fragmental part of my, my just, the ray, my fragmental part of my entire, opulences, or my, what is called effulgence. This is just one ray. All this what we are seeing, Krishna is revealing to Arjuna that, this is just one part, just a small portion of my entire opulences, entire effulgences. So this is what it is. So we are hearing, we are understanding from this chapter how Krishna is great and how Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this is the fourth and fifth verses. Friday we saw that this is also part of the opulences of the Supreme Lord. So dear devotees, this is the transcendental knowledge. So Krishna says, intelligence comes from me and is created by me alone. Intelligence. See, it's coming from Krishna. It is Krishna's part, Krishna's opulence. Knowledge. See, sometimes we know that, there are some people are so knowledgeable, and sometimes we think why we are not so much knowledgeable. Because of they can speak, they can understand, they goes beyond Even Brahma is the most intelligent living entity, and he creates this world. And we are tiny creators. We may make some toys, right, here and there. But the intelligence, so where it's come from, that intelligence? That's come from the Supreme Lord, Sri Krishna, and it's created by the Supreme Lord. Freedom from doubt. Yes, sometimes we think that, when we come more closer to Krishna, then everything is very clear and our confusions are gone, our doubts are gone. Now we are very firm on that, the Supreme Lord. So the freedom from doubt, and then when we are more purified, it's also come from Krishna. So that's why when we engaging into the loving devotional service attentively and sincerely, Krishna reveals everything to us. Other Sri Krishna namadi na bhavedna indriya sevan mugohi jikhvadu swayameva spurati yada. It reveals to us. And Krishna says that in the 15th chapter, 15th verse. The same, repeating the same. Sarvasya chaham hridi sanni vishto matahas madhur jnanam apohanam cha. Madhas murder jnanam apohananja. From me come remembrance, from me come knowledge, from me come even forgetfulness. This is all created by Krishna, dear devotees. So this is what is we are learning as an opulences of the Supreme Lord. Forgiving us doubt and the freedom from the doubt and the delusion. Forgiving us. Some people are so arrogant. It doesn't come to them. So they are like that arrogance. That is also come from Krishna. And this forgiveness is also come from Krishna. So dear devotees, Krishna is revealing that, yes, there are only two things basically, Krishna and Krishnas. Everything else is Krishnas. Krishna and Krishna. And that's what it is. So when we come to Krishnas, there are so many varieties, innumerable attributes of that Supreme Lord. Premanjana churida bhakti vilochanena shanda sadaiva hridayeshu vilokayandi yam shyama sundaram achindya gunaswarupam govindamadi purusham tamakam bhajami. Dear devotees, this is what is exactly, everything comes from Krishna, that yam shyama sundaram, that beautiful darkish, the beautiful, the darkish, the Krishna, Shyama Sundar. That Shyama Sundar is the source of everything. The source of everything. And if we sum up and bring up to that one point, everything in this world is come from that Krishna and is Krishna's innumerable attributes. And I had this realization many times, actually. When I go into my altar, when I look at the Krishna, Dada Madhavji, we can see that everything come from him. Everything is manifesting from him. And, likes that. So Krishna is revealing that. So this is what is most important. The opulences that we are seeing in this world, it's all his varieties of innumerable attributes. But, so when we understand this further and further, we can come to that point. Yes, the Supreme Personality of Sri Krishna is the source of everything, and everything else is his opulences or part of, or just portion of his entire opulences or his effulgences, his attributes. And then Krishna is revealing to Arjuna that, truthfulness, the control of the senses, even senses come from him, control of the mind, and the mind, right, Govinda, Achyuta, all these words, it is all, we have thousands of names of Krishna. And, it says that Hari, one who takes away everything, Hari, Harana, to annihilate. And Govinda, one who gives the pleasure. Right? One who gives the pleasure, one who is the controller of the senses, one who gives the pleasure, Govinda. Right? So likes that Achyuta, he is infallible. He is Narayana. He is, lying in the water. Narayana, Achyuta Narayana, Govinda, Madhusudana. He is the killer of the, Madhu. Keshava, one who is the killer of the Keshi demon. So there are innumerable attributes. If anything we take in this, and that's what is we can see this entire chapter about the opulences of the Supreme Lord. So then we come to today's verse, the 7 great sages, and before them the 4 great sages, and the Manus, the progenitors of mankind, come from me, born from my mind. All the living beings populated various planets descend from them. Sometimes, we come to this understanding, Brahma is all came from Brahma. But Brahma is the secondary creator, is called Visarga. Atra sarga visargamscha sthanam poshnam udaya manvantara ishana kada nirodhar muktir asrayaha. So everything, asraya, the one point of asraya, the shelter, and atra sarga visargamscha, these primary creations and the secondary creations, the demigod, everything come from the Krishna. But Brahma is like a visarga, as a secondary creator. And even we know that how Brahma is manifested. Brahma is manifested from the Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. So we know that, it's not that just come up like that. It is Krishna, the Vishnu, the Garbhodakshaya Vishnu manifesting as Brahma, the first living entity. So all living entities are part and parcel of Krishna. Mamaivamshu jiva loge jiva bhuta sanatana. Manashastrānindriyāni pragadistani karshati. All living entities are eternally part and a part and parcel of me. My part and parcel. All living entities are. But they are struggling in this world. Pragadistani karshati. Manashastrānindriyāni. They are struggling in this world because of their senses are the mind. They attached to this material world and they are struggling in this world. And this is the absolute truth. So here Krishna is revealing to Arjuna the seven great sages. Who are those great sages? There is it's Kritu, when the Saptarshis is the first Saptarshi, Kritu, then Pulaha, then Pulastya, then Atri, then Vasishta, then Mariji, then Kritu, Mariji, Vasishta, Atri, Mariji, Pulaha, Pulastya, Kritu, and one more, Bhrigu. So there are sages like this. They are manifested from the minds of Brahmadev. So remember, Brahma is also the potency of Lord Vishnu, the Supreme Lord. And Garbhodakshaya Vishnu is known as Hiranyagarbha because of the Garbhodakshaya Vishnu manifested from the Mahavishnu. Mahavishnu is manifested from the Sangarshan, Mahasangarshan, right? So this is the quadruple expansions. We know that the lineage of it. Krishna's first immediate expansion is Balaram. From the Balaram, so Balaram has 5 other, forms. So this is where starts Balaram. From the Balaram, the first quadruple expansion, so Chaturvyuha expansion manifests. That Chaturvyuha expansion is Vasudeva, Sangarshana, Pradyumna, Anirudh. So here, Balaram is transforming. Balaram's another form is called as Sangarshana. Then that Sangarshana, then Narayana appears. This is all in the spiritual realm. Narayana appears. And from that Narayana, then second quadruple expansion again manifests. That is known as Vasudeva, Sangarshana, Pradyumna, Anirudh. So this is known as Mula Sangarshana. So this Mula Sangarshana, again Narayana manifests. And from that Narayana in the material world, in the material cosmic creations, manifest as Mahavishnu. Mahavishnu is the cause of this entire, creation, cosmic in the material world. And he is the material world. And he himself is that. He is the Mahavishnu. He is the pervaded in all material creations. And the ray of the portions of, fragrance of, effulgences of, portions of, everything is because of that Mahavishnu, because of he is everything. And that is a primary creation, dear devotees. From that Mahavishnu, that 24 ingredients comes into this world. That's called, then initially it is all manifesting from the Mahavishnu, lies down into the casual ocean of Karana Jala. So from the body of Mahavishnu, the Karana, the causal ocean, all the ingredients, all the causes and the ingredients manifest from the body of Mahavishnu. And then, earth, water, fire, air, ether, then it's all combines together, converting as a Prakriti, or then it is actually body of Mahavishnu. This whole universe is manifesting like that. From that universe, like Mahavishnu enters, expand himself again as Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. That is called Hiranyagarbha. And that's each universe. And Lord enters into each universe and lies down there into each universe. And from the navel, there is a lotus sprouts. And from that lotus and Brahma come to the material world, come manifest. So it is basically the potency of Mahavishnu as a living entity, as a first living entity or Jiva Tattva in this material world. So basically, it's a potency of Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. Then what happens after that? Again, Garbhodakshaya Vishnu further expand himself and enters into each and every atom in this world. Same potency, each and every atom, and lives in everybody's heart as Paramatma. And he is seeing, he is there, and as Paramatma. This said, this Shirodakshaya Vishnu is known as Shirodakshaya Vishnu. He is the cause of all the incarnations. All the incarnations in this material world coming from the Shirodakshaya. Excuse me. Excuse me. Yeah, coming from the Shirodakshaya Vishnu. And then where is the separation? Where is the difference? Even part and parcel of the each living entity is also the portion of the Shirodakshaya Vishnu, the Supreme Lord. That's the same potency as Krishna. So now Brahma is manifested, and this is, think about it, this is Krishna is revealing this to 5,000 years ago. Krishna is revealing to Arjuna. We know that Brahma is manifested like almost like we can say the half. I mean, Brahma completely lives like 311 trillion 0.040 years, earthly years. And then Brahma is already past the half of the age. Brahma is going through 51st age, like that. So we can see that how many trillions of years passed. And then when originally Brahma manifested, then after thousands of years, Brahma did the penance, and then Krishna appeared personally in front of Brahma and shook hands with them and transferred that and gave that knowledge that how to create in this material world. And with that knowledge from Brahma, the Brahma started to create. When Brahma started to create, Brahma created 4 Kumaras. That's 4 Kumara. That's why Sanaga, Sananda, Sanadana, Sanal Kumara. And Brahma thought that, they would start the progeny and they would get into the, creation of these living entities. But as soon as they got birth, they appeared from the mind of Brahma, and they decided, and Brahma told them that, requested them, start creations, progeny in this world. They said, humbly folded with hands, we would not do that. And this is the first time that Brahma is shook and got angry, and because of the children supposed to follow the words of his father. But here the 4 Kumaras straight away said that, we would be completely, we understood, we know the importance of the life and existence in this world, and this is the life that we should utilize for the service of the Lord, to understand, to realize the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They were Brahmavadis. They were trying to understand the Supreme Lord, and they were also not clear who is the Lord. But they are Brahmavadis. Because of they are Brahmavadis, the 4 Kumaras, they completely realize the Supreme, and they try to enter into the spiritual realm. And that's the time the Jaya and Vijaya, obstruct them and, stop them. But Krishna, the Lord, because of their purity and sincerity and their devotion, Lord appeared before them. And that's time, the tulasi leaves, which is offered at the lotus feet of the Lord always, and they, get that the fragrance of the tulasi leaves from the lotus feet of the Lord in Vaikunta. They completely transformed, and they completely transformed. That's why, we have to smell the tulasi or any flowers which is offered at the lotus feet of the Lord, which can transform us, like, 4 Kumaras. They transform and they completely surrendered unto the Supreme Lord, and they became the pure devotees of the Lord. And these were the 4 Kumaras. Then from the Brahma, then the 7 sages manifested, as I mentioned that, as the Kritu, we know that. Then Pulaha and Pulastya, right? Then Atri, we know that so many times. And then, also, Atri and Anasuya, from the Atri and Anasuya, the Dattatreya came manifested in this world. Dattatreya is also the incarnation of the Supreme Lord. And then we can see that, other sages like, Vasishta. Vasishta was the sage of, the spiritual master of Sri Lord Ramachandra Bhagavan. And Vasishta and Arundhati. You must have heard about Arundhati, the star, Arundhati star in the horizon. And Vasishta and Arundhati, and Arundhati was an eternally, the consort of the Vasishta. And Mariji was the father of Kashyapa, and we know that Marichi, and Kashyapa Prajapati, and Kashyapa Prajapati later known as the father of all the living entities in this world, in terms of in terms of Adhiti, from the Adhiti and the wife. Kashyapa Prajapati had 13 wives, and these were the daughters of the Daksha Prajapati. Daksha Prajapati also manifested from Brahma, and there were tons, not only 7 sages or Saptarshis. There are Daksha then manifested from the Brahma. Swayambhuva Manu manifested from Brahma, and then also the Shatarupa, the daughter, also manifested from Brahma, and it's actually as equally, kind of manifested for Shatarupa and Swayambhuva Manu. And Shatarupa then, married to Swayambhuva Manu. Then they started the progeny as Manavas, the human beings. And then like that, then, from the anchor of the Brahma, the Rudra manifested. Rudra is also like it's a Shiva Tattva, it's a separate Tattva from the Lord. Of course, the Supreme Lord's potency is the Shambhu, and expansions of Shambhu is Rudra and the Shiva and all. So then Krishna is revealing that these 4 Kumaras, these 7 sages, as is mentioned that, and then Manus, the progenitors of the mankind. There are 14 Manus, and it's manifesting 14 Manus, and it starts from the Swayambhuva Manu, Chakshusha Manu, Raivada Manu, Vaivasvada Manu, and Savarni Manu, and Daksha Savarni Manu, and we are actually going through the 7th Manu right now, and it is known as the Vaivasvada Manu. Is the time period. And there is the Padma Kalpa, that's the Swayambhuva Manu manifested in the beginning of Brahma. And then it passes through the Chakshusha Manu, the 4th Manu, Raivata Manu, likes that. And we are actually, after this, there is a Savarni Manu, and it's going to come. And it is also mentioned with our scriptures that who are the Manus going to come. And then the Saptarshis lives up to the 1 Manvantara. It is like, like 3, what is called 3, the 300 million years, something like that. They are so powerful, and they can even control everything in this world. That's why, because of it's all manifested from Brahma. Brahma is the expansion and the potency of the Supreme Lord. And then it's, as mentioned, the Manus come from me, and from mind, my mind. Krishna is telling that from my mind. Basically, it is, we always tell that it is Brahma's mind, but actually, what is Brahma's mind? It's nothing but it's Krishna, full of Krishna's potency, and it's the mind of Brahma. That means Krishna's mind, and all the living beings populating the various planets are descend from them, and means, and we know that the humans are the Manavas are coming from the Manu. Likes that, the Adhiti is from the Kashyapa Prajapati, and Didi is why, the from the Didi of Kashyapa, that, the Asuras, the demons came. And then likes that there are so many, like, Dhanava, there is Danu, another wife of Kashyapa was Danu. Dhanava came, and then we know that there is Vinita. Vinita was actually the all the, mother of all the snakes. And all the Vinita was actually Vinita was actually the mother of the Garuda, all the birds, yes. And also manifested the Kadru, another wife is of Kashyapa, is known as Kadru, and all the snakes manifested from Kadru. That's why, the powerful the Takshaka, the powerful snakes, like that. And then demigods come from Kashyapa Prajapati. Vamana manifested from Kashyapa Prajapati. Even the birds and the beast and the animals all come from this Kashyapa Prajapati. And then also Daksha Prajapati. Daksha Prajapati also created lots of living beings in this world. This is the most important aspect of your devotees, and this is the science. If you look at that, sometimes we come to this understanding, or this science, or the modern world teaches that no, this is all evoluted from us. kind of microbes, and that microbes come from the two kind of acids. There is RNA and DNA. They call it as ribonucleic acid, and then deoxyribonucleic acids, and these nucleic acids came through the rain into the ocean water, and it's actually created when it comes together, and it started with the small microbes, and then there are lots of challenges, and it's proven that small microbes cannot sustain or live in that such a vast ocean, or this salty or whatever it is, in kind of that chemicals. And even if there are scientists even taken that ocean water in the beginning itself, that and then made up, and then nothing can be, so nobody can create that one. So then it's all bogus theories out there. But if you look at this, the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, and it tells us that how this is manifested, and that is true because of we know that this world is not started even for we can say that, okay, 1,000 years, or we say 20 million years ago. So what happened before that 20 million years ago? There are 500 million years ago. So what happened before the 500 million years ago? This world was not there. It's just like that. So even the scientists say about the Big Bang theory and all, they just put some kind of, some assumptions, right? This was just an assumption. It was like that. It was like that. But think about the devotees, this entire cosmic creations which was there and manifest, where it's come from, and what they don't have any answer for that. Where this entire Prakriti, this material nature manifested, and nothing in the material nature is manifest. And it was even material nature. Okay, you can say about all the planets or the stars, maybe bigger, but where it's come from, where it exists, that all. This is what is our scripture says, the devotees, all the Mahavishnu, the Supreme Lord. And even recently, I was seeing an old documentary that now what happens, the dwarf or black holes, and one point of time, everything goes back to a point, and then there won't be anything after that. Everything goes back to a point, and it's called black holes, and we don't see it, and it stays for there some time, and then after some time, many long period of time, then it's come from that point, it start to come back into this material world. Then it goes back again into that one point, it comes back again, but the duration is millions of trillions of years. And dear devotees, this is exactly the Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita. Krishna is revealing everything comes from me, and at the time of Brahma's day, and that is actually Brahma's day, 8.4 billion years. That's what is even scientists calculated, that it is around like 730 years, 30 crores years is actually the lifespan of a sun, and then it will go away. And this word is exactly our Shastra scriptures. Krishna is revealing that one day of Brahma, and everything goes back to the body of Mahavishnu, and the next, and remaining that 8.4 billion years, it will be remain, that there won't be anything. And then after that day comes, then Brahma, come from the sleep, and then everything comes back, when the body of Mahavishnu, everything comes back into this material, in this world again. So this is the real science, and this is what is the common logic, and one who has attentiveness and the focus on this our transcendental scriptures and the science, and we can see that. So everything comes from that Supreme Lord, and then we can see that the Brahma manifested in the world as the living entity. So the living entities, secondary creations, and all the living entities from through this sages, and Srila Prabhupada says here, the 25 great personalities, that including that in 25 great personalities, like the Kumaras and the 14 Manus and the 7 sages, that is considered as 25 great personalities were the cause or the progenitors, or we can say that all come from this, everything comes from these living entities. So that's what is populating various planets descended from them. So Krishna is revealing that. So what do we need to take it? The devotees, that always understand this fact. Anything which is in this world, that is an opulences of the Krishna, and Krishna reveals in the later chapter, among the mountains, I am Himalayas. Among the Meru, among the mountains, I am the Meru. Among the peak, I am the Himalayas. Among the bird, I am Garuda. Among the horses, I am Uchchasreva. Among the great warriors, I am Arjuna. Among the great weapon, I am Vajrayudha. Among the great syllable, I am Om. Among the Adityas, I am the Vishnu. And among the like Parashurama, and Krishna says that all this among the tree, I am banyan tree. Among the Kavis, I am Usharna. I mean, like that, Krishna is revealing that anything that which is here, and it's all the opulences of Krishna, or the part and parcel of Krishna, or the attributes of Krishna, as is mentioned that dear devotees, there are only two things: Krishna and Krishnas. If you understand this, then where is the confusion, and where is the doubt of going here and there? And this is what it is, we need to everything come from him, and that supreme personality of Godhead. But many people see in a different way, like Brahmedi, Paramatmedi, Bhagavani, Shabdev. But that Bhagavan is the ultimate, that person, that personality of Godhead. That's what Srila Prabhupada says, supreme personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. And one who knows all this, it's all come from Krishna, then that Krishna, the beautiful Shyama Sundara, that, and that Krishna is the everything, the cause of everything, and he's the ultimate. He is the summum bonum of everything, and everything comes up to him, and everything comes from him, and he is the cause of all the causes. And Krishna is revealing this to Arjuna. Dear devotees, let me stop here, and hope that you could get grasp some kind of understanding how this entire world is actually manifested in such a way that it all came from Krishna, is all his opulences, all his attributes, is all he is the cause of all the causes. Thank you so much, and I will stop here with this note. Hare Krishna. Hope we got something. So if you have any questions, and we can discuss a little bit, and if you have any comments, please open up. And it's always good to go in detail, so that it will our faith, our understanding and faith will become more stronger and stronger. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Hare Bol. Anybody has anything to add, or it was boring? You can unmute, please. Nobody has anything to add. I mean, are you able to hear me? Sorry. Any problem?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. We can hear you.
Okay. I was just wondering. Thank you.
Yeah, Prabhuji. Wonderful class, Prabhuji. Very lots of information, lots of details about how everything is created, like the entire starting from the spiritual realm to this material world, like how Mahavishnu is penetrated into each and every atom very nicely, and you explained everything in detail, Prabhuji. Very nice class, wonderful class, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Anything else? Anybody? Any other questions? Anybody would like to add?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Dandavat Pranam. All Guru Srila Prabhupada.
Yeah, I have a question. I had
Yes,
it
please.
since a long time. I was not getting time
Please.
to
Always.
ask. We were studying we were studying about our days as compared to Brahma's days, the duration of Brahma's days, and then we were studying duration of demigods' days. Like our 100 years is 1 day of demigods, and then we also studied what happens when Lord Brahma sleeps. There's a temporary pralaya, and then at the end of Brahma's age, it's a permanent pralaya. So what happens, Prabhuji? I mean, we didn't study what happens. So when we know that when Lord Brahma is sleeping, nothing is there. I mean, only the I mean, at least the Mother Earth is not there, right? When Lord Brahma is sleeping, so
Yeah.
all the lingam they're not there, right? So
Yes.
then, in the same way, when when there is a night for demigods, what happens at that time? And because people continue to worship demigods, I mean, not the devotees, but the other people. So if there is a night for demigods, how does it look like? I mean,
Oh, wonderful question. Yes. Have you heard about this Uttarayana and Dakshinayana?
yes,
This
Prabhuji.
sun goes to the northern hemisphere and sun goes to the southern
But
hemisphere.
that is once a year, no? But then for demigods, it's 100 years is 1 day of demigods, then another 100 years is a night. Then what
No, no,
happens to
no,
no?
it's not like that. So let me tell you this one. Yes, let's take a day hour compared to hours. So we have a day. We have 24 hours, like 12 hours daytime and 12 hours nighttime. Usually, suppose nighttime is kind of sleep. We sleep around 8 hours, maybe 7 hours. Yeah. So these are the what is called the period of real sleeping time, and then the evening. That's called sandhya. We have sandhya, the sandhya time and evening time, and things like that. So like that for the Pitrus, that's why we call it as Shukla Paksha, and the and what is called the Krishna Paksha. So these are the daytime and nighttime for the Pitris. That's actually basically the moon planet. This is considered as moon planet when moon, full moon and the no moon, and likes that. Then, if it goes to the demigods or Devadevadas on the heavenly planet, it is considered as the 6 months of Dakshinayana is the night time for demigods, and 6 months of daytime in earthly planet is considered as the daytime for the demigods. That means 1 year or 360 days on the earthly planet is actually the 1 day of demigods. That means one day, what happens? They sleep. I mean, they are there, they sleep. That's why when the sun is on the Dakshinayana time period, or we call it as Chaturmasa, and this is the time nothing much happens, not much worship happens. As basically, I mean, it's considering thus these karma kandis, and there is a time period for that. They are all considering that they are all in the sleep, and that's so like that they also live 100 years. That means 360,000 years. That's the lifespan on the heavenly planets, live on 360,000 years. That means in earthly years, that means that is 100 years equally as the demigods. They also live like that. Then there are Tapaloka, Janaloka, Maharloka. These sages are actually lives up to the one Manvantara. Then it comes to the point of Manvantaras, 14 Manus, and one Manvantara is somewhere like 300 million kind of years. And they also have the days and nights like that. And then it comes to the point of Brahmaloka, and that is where actually the 1 day of Brahma means 8.4 billion years, and then daytime 4.6 4.32 billion years daytime, and 4.32 billion years of nighttime. That's 8.64 billion years of 1 day of Brahma, like that. So then the question of what happens when the demigod sleeps, right? That's why your question, right? When the demigod sleeps,
Yes.
so how that is? Yes, they do sleep. So the changes happens. The minimum changes happens. Yes, there are four kinds of annihilations. One is actually is called it's called naimittika or occasional. That means then there is a continuous. Every time there is a continuous. And when we come to like a partial pralaya, like just for an example, when the Brahma's day ends, or we can say that, or we can call it as like partial pralaya, like when the yuga, sandhya or yuga, all ends, and when it comes to the let's take this way. The changes really happens on this material world when Manu changes from one Manu to another Manu, then everything changes. That means, then and there, the Indra changes, the demigod changes, they all changes. I mean, they all kind of come, another demigods come into the, existence. Indra changes the position. Indra is basically a position. Indra has a name, actually. What is Indra's name? I forgot the name of Indra is just a position. The kings of heaven known as Indra, but it's a position. The person changes, like that. So when the Manu changes, everything really changes into this and their cosmic creations. And then there we can see that in period of time there are changes, and even when the yuga ends, there are changes in this world. When from the Kali Yuga, when it's from changes from Yuga Kali Yuga to the Satya Yuga, there'll be a lot of changes in this world, and there could be earthquake, and some maybe kind of water will maybe kind of pralaya will be there and filled into the water, some portion of the earth and all those things. When the days of the Brahma ends, up to the heavenly planets, everything sink under the water. It's mentioned that. The Bhagavad it is mentioned that when the day ends of the Brahma, everything sinks under the water up to the heavenly planets. And it says that initially there was a huge drought, and because of the fire, it burns all the planets down up to the heavenly planets. Even heavenly planets also gone, demigods gone, everything is gone. And then because of that too much of heat, then there is a then again further winds come, there will be a huge rain, and then the water comes and fills up everything and then destroys everything, and it goes, then it fills up even the universe up to the heavenly planets, and up to they'll be filled with water and everything devastated. Only those who are the Janaloka, Tapaloka, Maharloka, Satyaloka remains, and likes that. And then the day of Brahma, then that's the time Brahma sleeps. That time all the living entities up to the heavenly planets, demigods up to, they go and merge with the body of Mahavishnu. When the day comes, they again comes back and likes that. So that goes like 100 years of Brahma, 300, and Brahma also changes. Another Brahma comes. So there are innumerable Brahmas like that. And the four heads of Brahma on this planet, there are innumerable universes. Everywhere there are Brahma, and it all changes. And think about it. This is all Krishna's splendor. It's Krishna's, this is my portion of my splendor, this entire creations. So that is Krishna. He is beginningless. Everything is, he's a complete supreme Lord. And yeah. Did it answer your question, or still you have some...
So what I understand, Prabhuji, that when demigods sleep, there are some changes, though not pralaya, but there are some changes that we will see, right? And then you said that Chaturmasa, it falls under that period when people observe fasting. And...
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, yes. That's why we have astrologically, it says that, don't do this on this time, because of what happens when the demigods are not in power. There are some other elements come into the, they're like, what is called evil spirits, and time comes, then demigods goes into the sleep, and that's a time we should not do anything like that. And everything is a time is astrologically calculated, good timing, and who is actually in power. That's why we call astrology, right? Who is ruling right now on this planet, or the birth, like stars, and who is actually on. It's all calculated according to this time period, and it's all connected, and it's all related, and it's not that independent of each other. Astronomy and astrology are all related and connected. Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhuji. That helps.
Thank you. Nice. Okay.
Hari Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes. Always.
Prabhuji, just now you explained about this Uttarayan and Dakshinayan.
Correct.
So, I just had this question that why in Dakshinayan only we have major festivals celebrated like Janmashtami and Kartik Mas when the demigods are sleeping. So, I just wanted to know the logic.
Basically, yes, this is nothing to do with the demigods, right? That's all Karma Kanda section of it. But Krishna is always Krishna's birth. Krishna is eternal, and especially we are on the spiritual. That's all the material side of it, Mataji. So yes, then somebody looks for this one and that one. But Krishna is nothing to do with the demigods. So he's the supreme personality of God. Any Vishnu Tattva, Kartik is an Adhika Mas pretty much comes, and Kartik, and among the months Margashirsha is the October Kartik and Margashirsha. So all comes. Yes. Why? Because of there is no time frame or anything like that for the Supreme Lord, because of He is eternal, right? Anytime we can perform the activities. As Krishna manifested on the month of what is called Ashtami Rohini, month of August, September, or August September month time period. That's the time Krishna, that was the rainy time that wandered on that time, because of that when Krishna appeared in order to go from Madhura to Gokul, it was heavily raining that time. And this is all not just a myth or something, it was happened in such a way that, so Krishna selected that time. So Madhava Tidhi Bhakti Janani, whenever the Tidhi of the Supreme Lord, there is no rules and regulations for that, in order to observe Ekadashi, or in order to observe the Madhava Tidhi, the appearance of the Lord. So this is, we are just calculating in the time period of, like when we say, like, the daytime and the night time, it's just earthly. This is just like a bubble in the, it's like a bubble. How much time it takes a bubble come and burst it? Very less time. So like that, all these creations, even when you consider of Brahma's, even the lifespan is actually the 100 years, even just said that, it is just like half a nimisha, not even complete seconds, half a nimisha of the time period of the Supreme Lord. Then when we think about Krishna's appearances and disappearances and all these things, and this is kind of mind-blowing, like, so yes, we may calculate. Anyway, again, time is a relative, another factor of it. Time is relative, and it is it's related to, like, earthly years or demigod years. It's all relative to one another. So, but in case of Krishna, appearances of Krishna is all transcendental, and Krishna manifests. Krishna comes one day of Brahma, that's Kalpa. 1 day of Brahma means every, when we say look at 1 day of Brahma means just 1 day, but for earthly years it was 8.4 billion years. So Krishna comes that, in 1 day of Brahma, Krishna manifests as he is into this planet of, and then we celebrate that. So for the devotion for Krishna, there is no time, place, and circumstances, as Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that. Namna Makari Nija Sarva Shakti Tatrapida Niyamida Smaranena Kalaha. There is no time, place, circumstances for devotional service or observing Madhava Tidhi, nothing like that. So nothing to do with the material, all, how the calculations or demigods, all those things. It's completely different, Madaji. Because of Vishnu Tattva, Krishna Tattva, all the demigods are come under the Jiva Tattva. And everything else, the devotional service is complete to the Supreme, is under the Jiva Tattva. Sorry, Vishnu Tattva.
Got it, Prabhuji. I mean, my intention of asking that question was like, when we celebrate Janmashtami, even demigods are like Jiva Tattva, so everyone should be like celebrating that Janmashtami.
Yeah, I mean, of course. I mean, they also, there is, that's called the, Deva Shiny, and there are days for even Devas celebrate, right? That's, I mentioned, that's relative. And for them, it may not be as equal as the same time what is happening on the earth. On August, or we say Janma Ashtami or the Rohini, and Ashtami Rohini, the day on earthly planet, and may not be the same for the demigods they celebrate. It's all relative. Like according to Einstein, time is very relative. So for them, it may be another day, and whichever the day, they celebrate. That's why, there is also demigods they celebrate. And certain time, demigods also join on earthly planet. I mean, they may not sleep that time, This is all according to the general calculation, Mataji. Like, when we say Dakshinayana, they go to sleep, and, things like that. Then there are always Sandhyas, are they going to sleep on all 6 months? No, it's not. They are also active. So, earthly planet more on the grossly level, and the heavenly planet more on the subtle level, actually. So, even if we say Dakshinayana, that's the night time, and that time, whether they are completely sleep, they are active. I mean, their functions and everything is working. Otherwise, how this world manifests, right? So these all functions, but on a subtle level, and likes that. So when there are less grossly level, then more grossly level be more on this kind of sleeping mode. but more on the subtle level and the spiritual level is always awake. Like, Krishna is always, or Vishnu is yoga nidra. Or really Krishna is sleeping like a god sleep, like a deep sleep? No. So it's a yoga nidra. So like that, everything has an arrangement for each living entities to live and to perform their activities and perform their everything. So the rules and regulations are different than each planetary system. Earthly planet rules and regulations may be different. Like we may sleep for 8 hours, 24, whatever it is, but it's a different in the each planetary system, and it goes accordingly. But we don't know about those informations, right? Whether how that is all functioning, but we know that yes, this is the time period, this is the night time for demigods, this is the daytime for, that's what is Dakshinayana and Uttarayana. It goes like that. And and how they functions, yes, they are all, everything functions, yes, even we are on the night time, our body functions, isn't it? I mean, in the sense that even though it is on the sleeping mode, but body functions, like we take oxygen, we take everything, and everything functions, heart works, everything, things, right? So this is a relative thing. So yeah.
Got it, Prabhuji. Yeah, thank you, Prabhuji.
No problem. Okay. Jai. Anything else? Anybody else has anything to add? Any reflections? Okay. Wonderful. Okay, then let's conclude today's section, today's class. And this is wonderful about understanding this transcendental science of how everything comes into this world, and how it's controlled, and how it is existing, and how it is maintaining, and who is the cause of all this, how is all manifested in this world. And Krishna is revealing this absolute knowledge and absolute truth. And we should take it. We should take it in as a complete knowledge or absolute knowledge. So this will help us a lot if you do that. Otherwise, if you doubt, so much, doubting soul, Krishna says, doubting soul never. No, Krishna is in this mentioning that even in this lifetime, or even in the future lifetime, they will not attain anything in the doubting soul. So even if if he goes through proper understanding from Bhagavad Gita, which clarifies a lot, and we can strengthen our faith. And faith is the beginning of everything. Adhau Shraddha. Then from the faith we get to more closer, more progress in the bhakti, sadhu sangha, bhajana kriya, anarthanavurti. It goes from that strong faith. So everything starts from the faith, and faith comes from the transcendental knowledge of the Supreme Lord. So thank you so much, and we would conclude today's session. Hare Krishna. So thank you so much for joining. Thank you for all assembled Vaishnavas. Let's pay our obeisance to all the assembled Vaishnavas. Vancha kalpatarubhasya कृपा सिंधुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. वैष्णव वृंद की जय. श्रीमद् भगवद गीता की जय. श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय. गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि
बोल.
Thank you,
Thank you
Prabhu.
so much, Prabhuji, for the wonderful class. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you.
Hare
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.